Throughout this video, you will hear rain, thunder, and see lightning. We have been inundated with rainy weather, to say the least. You know we keep it real here, including nature's own sound effects. Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We're so happy you have joined us today. Today we're going to talk about how living a slow, frugal life saves Paul and I money. We're going to explain how we do it. We're going to give you some tips to implement these slow living ways into your own life. We are also going to make a company-worthy meal from beginning to end, super easy, super frugal, and guess what? We use the crock pot, we use the Instapot, so our home did not get heated up, and we enjoyed this meal thoroughly, and we shared it with those we love. So I want you to sit back, relax, and let's get right into this video. Slow living is basically a mindset that allows us to be present in the moment. In our society, we are driven, we are pushed, we are told we need to be busy, busy, busy. There's such a huge difference with being busy and being productive and creative. Why do Paul and I choose a slow lifestyle? Basically, by slowing down, we have less stress, less anxiety. We're not always trying to people please. We're not always trying to buy the biggest. We're not always trying to buy the newest. We're not trying to keep up with anyone else. And doing this in turn, we save a tremendous amount of money. It's really a mindset, but you have to do these practical applications to go along with that mindset for it to work. Well, yes, I think that's a great idea, Emmy, but how do we do it? And we're going to show you. Number one, you actually have to give yourself permission to slow down. Can you imagine we as a society have to tell ourselves it's okay to do a bit less. It's okay to slow down. It is okay to not run constantly. And once we give ourselves that permission and really believe we have given ourselves that permission, life takes on a whole new pace. Once we incorporate that slower mindset, it also releases us from consumerism and the need to buy constantly to buy. Why? Because we are learning different ways to be creative, to live in the moment, and to not focus on material objects quite so much. So the first thing we need to do is allow ourselves to actually give ourselves permission to take on a slower lifestyle. Number two, and I want you to think about this for a minute. Whatever your financial situation may be, you could be a millionaire. You could be living paycheck to paycheck, below your means, above your means, whatever it may be. We all share one thing in common, and that is having 24 hours in a day. And once you slow down and look at those 24 hours as being enough for today, that slow living mindset will flourish. I have a little homework assignment for you. I want you to give me 5 things that are super important to you. Something that if someone told you to prioritize your time, these 5 things would be on it. For Paul and I, it's spending time with each other and our families. It's being creative, whether Paul is playing guitar or I'm baking bread. It's getting back to nature, growing our own food, growing flowers, getting outside. It's about lowering the screen time in our lives, whether it be on TV or phone, whatever it may be. And also for us, a very rich spiritual life. So what are your 5 priorities? Now, we all need to work and we need to make money, but I'm talking about the time that you have to yourself, that you have allowed yourself. So once you figure out what those 5 things that are so important to you are, you can start living your life slowly and intentionally because you're weeding out the things that are not important. Number 3, once you slow down, you have more time, again, there's that word, to prioritize and do what you want to do. Be in the moment when you're doing those things that you love to do. Let's say I want to bake a loaf of bread. To me, that is a creative side of myself. I will turn off other distractions and be in the moment. Whether it's kneading the bread or adding the ingredients, I'll try not to have TV blaring in the background or my phone constantly pinging going off. Be in the moment. This allows you to appreciate the things that are important to you, those slower living aspects, so much more. We have been told we need to be busy. Our children need to be busy. And I think we shortchange ourselves so much with that busy mindset. And once you adapt that slow living and start putting away those distractions and focusing on those 5 or 10 or 15 items that are so important to you in your life, you don't have the desire to catch up with the Joneses or to outdo the Joneses. Why? Because you're being true to who you are. You're being true to you and what is important to you and your family. Number 4, the word no is yours to use. I do not like to use the word no very often. If someone asks something from me, I try to give 110%. And you can ask anybody who knows me, and that would be true. But sometimes, as we are slowing down, Paul and I, the word no has to come in to play. You have to allow yourselves to sometimes say, no, I'm sorry. I can't do it right now. Maybe I can do it later. I can't promise you. Being true to ourselves and incorporating a slower pace sometimes means having to give up things that are less important to us. Someone may say to us, let's go out to dinner Friday night, or let's go to a movie Friday night. Now, Friday night to Paul and I is our at-home quiet night. We do not really do much. The next day we practice Sabbath. We're home. We could compromise and say, absolutely, let's do that, only for fear of missing out or offending the people who have asked us out. But that wouldn't be fair to Paul and I. That's not what we want to really do on Friday night. We don't want to spend money on Friday night. We don't want to go to a movie on Friday night or out to dinner. That's just not what we want to spend our time doing. So you say it in a loving way. Maybe we can make it another day. Or maybe we could do something on Sunday. You could come over and we could just have a small barbecue or something. Be true to yourself. The word no is yours to use. Remember that. Now, if someone really needs your help for something, an emergency, I'm not talking that. The word no comes into play sometimes in a slower, frugal life. These ideas, these 4 quick ideas we gave you, all help you to save money by being true to yourself, because you are not spending money on things that are unimportant. You're not spending time, which is basically money, on things that don't mean anything to you. Once you learn what is important and true to you and your family, the rest will just come naturally, and the peace and tranquility that will follow is immeasurable. Getting outside, finding your pace of life, whatever pace that may be that works for you. Being content with what we have is probably the greatest joy of all. Henry David Thoreau said, "The cost of a thing is the amount of life which is required to be exchanged for it." How much does what you're striving for cost you? So we hope that little motivational chat really encourages you to start prioritizing your life when it comes to spending money and when it comes to spending your time. You will just feel so much lighter, so much more in control of your own life, and the positivity that will flow from that is immeasurable. Now, let's get into the kitchen because we want to share a simple frugal meal with you that we made for a dear friend of mine for her birthday. When you have company over, you don't need to go out and spend a fortune. People want to spend time with you. Yes, they want a yummy meal and you're offering them a yummy meal, but there are so many cost-effective ways to do that. This birthday dinner that we created for my girlfriend was so delicious, economical, frugal, and super easy. We didn't heat up the kitchen, and it was just a joy to put together and present. So we're going to get into the kitchen, and we're going to show you what we made, how we made it, and recipes will be linked down below in the description box. For the main course tonight, I'm going to be making Sloppy Joe's, aka barbecued spoon burgers. Talk about a well-loved recipe. Look at this. Take a screenshot if you want so you can refer back to this recipe. This has been one of my most requested recipes when people come to dinner. It's that good. And my girlfriend requested this specifically for her birthday dinner. So let's see our ingredients. I did a little over 1.5 pounds. So this is probably about 2 pounds of ground beef that I browned and drained. Now for our sauce, we're going to need about 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. It calls for dry mustard, but I just use regular mustard. It calls for a clove of garlic, but I use 2. 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, about a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, a tablespoon of, what is this, Paul?
Worcestershire.
Okay, that's sauce. A 1/2 cup of ketchup. It calls for 6 ounces of tomato paste. To me, tomato paste is very, very bitter. So I just use about a cup of my homemade pasta sauce, but you can use tomato paste or you can use jarred sauce. Either way, it's fine. 1/2 cup of chopped onion and a 1/2 cup of chopped celery. It called for 3/4 of a cup of water. Now my ketchup was almost empty, so I just put the 3/4 cup of water in here and shook well. So this is going to be perfect. And that's all there is to it. The best part of this is it's like a dump and go. Everything goes into the crock pot and then you just let it cook. We're just going to put everything right into the crock pot. When I tell you my family and friends love this recipe, and honestly, it couldn't be easier. I just gave this a good mix. I'm going to cover it, put it on high, and let it cook on high for just about 4 hours. But after 2 hours, I'm going to just taste it to make sure it's seasoned correctly. That's all there is. How easy is this? One of the side dishes for tonight's meal is going to be coleslaw. I know my girlfriend loves coleslaw. Paul and I make a little bit of a different coleslaw. It's got a little bit of a sweet, tangy taste to it. It's so good. So we started with literally about a 1/2 head of small cabbage that we cored and just cut into strips. And to that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of cubed apple. So delicious. And about a 1/4 cup of raisins. And then we're going to grate a large carrot. So I'm going to add that in right now. I know this may seem a little unconventional, And everybody has their own way of making coleslaw, but this way is really delicious. And now I'm just going to grate the carrot. We're just grating the carrot the old-fashioned way. Do you know I don't own a food processor? Do you think that's something I should invest in? Leave it down in the comments section below what you think. Now we just make a super simple dressing for the coleslaw. Half a cup of mayonnaise. And in this little dish, I have 2 tablespoons of white vinegar and about a tablespoon of sugar. And we're just going to put that in. I'm going to add some pepper, freshly ground. Now you could add salt at this point as well, but the mayonnaise tends to have a lot of salt, but we'll give it a taste. Give this a good mix. You can see our beautiful mound of carrots here. We're just going to pour this all over our coleslaw mix. Always remember to scrape your bowls. Please don't waste food. And now we're just going to toss this all together with this dressing. I like to make my coleslaw early in the morning if we're serving it that evening. And this is going to be so delicious. That's all there is to it, but those apples and raisins, oh my goodness, what a great accompaniment to that cabbage and carrot. We're just going to cover this and I'm going to put it right into the refrigerator and we'll be able to serve it later. Sweet potatoes are such a great accompaniment to any meal, but they can take a while. And you know, you all are telling me constantly to use my Instapot. So tonight we're going to be making some whole sweet potatoes in the Instapot. So I have some medium-sized sweet potatoes here and we scrub them really well. And now I'm just going to give them a good poke with a fork about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. Into the Instapot, I'm going to take 1 cup of water, pour it in. Then I'm going to take our little trivet, stick that in. And now I'm just going to put these potatoes right on top of that trivet. We're going to put one on top, right like that. I think it'll be fine because we're not up to the fill line. All right, my Instapot sang the little song, make sure your steam vent is off. We're going to hit pressure cook, put it on for 30 minutes, just like that. And we are good to go. Once it comes up to temperature, we are going to do a natural release for 10 minutes and then we will do manual release, but we will get to that when it's done. That took all of 30 seconds to get it all together and our Instapot's ready to go. The 10-minute natural release is up and Paul is going to now manually release it. Oh, it's not too bad. Usually this thing is berserk. And now we're just going to wait for that little silver button to fully drop and then we know it's safe to take the lid off and that just happened. Let's see our potatoes. Oh my goodness, they look great. Just going to take a knife, make sure they are cooked. Oh, they're perfect. Oh my goodness, look at this. 30 minutes, winner, winner. It's time for dinner. This has been cooking on high for just about 4 hours and it looks perfect. Look at this. What I love about this recipe is it makes sloppy joes nice and sloppy. So we're going to dish this out in a bowl and put it on the table for everyone to help themselves. Here we go. We've got some sloppy joe. The coleslaw looks amazing. And what I do with the sweet potatoes is I put out some little baby marshmallows, butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and everyone can dress them the way they want. Super frugal yet elegant meal. Happy birthday, Deb.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
Love you. We finished off our night with several fun games of Rummy Cube. We are in the midst of another thunderstorm and torrential rain right now. It's Friday morning. You're going to be seeing this video in a couple of hours, and it is pouring out. So I am sorry if you're hearing the rain, the thunder, the lightning. So yeah, we have been inundated with some really wet weather lately. So we hope that simple, easy meal was encouraging. Give it a try, any aspect of that meal. I used my Instapot like you all tell me to. What a blessing and a joy that was to make those potatoes. So just a simple way to celebrate with friends and keep it cost effective. Now let's get to the part of the video you have all been waiting for. We're going to jump into the other room and we're going to pick our two winners for our two $25 gift cards for reaching 50,000 subscribers. I'm going to leave that thunder in. I don't know if you can hear it, but just makes it feel like you're here with us, right? Let's get into the other room and pick our winners. All right, here we are. So we're going to first put in the video. There it is. We are going to include replies to comments. We're going to filter out duplicate users. We're going to filter comments. And the word we're going to be looking for is Frugal Money Saver. Filter comments, exclude users. Okay, we want two winners. And we're going to show random names. And I think we are going to get our YouTube comments. Let's see how many. Oh, wow, look at this. 1,190. All right, let's go. Who's going to be our first winner? Timmy Storms. Whoa! Congratulations,
Yay, Timmy.
Whoa! Yay!
Yay!
All right, and wait a minute. We have two of them here. It picked both, and Linda F.
Yay!
Linda F. I didn't know it picked both at once. Timmy Storms, Linda F. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Woo!
guys. Thanks for watching.
So congratulations to our two winners. We are so appreciative for all of you who entered, for all of you who are a part of our channel. You have no idea how much you all mean to us. For the winners, please email us your full name and address, and email us at frugalmoneysaver@gmail.com. One word, frugalmoneysaver@gmail.com. The email address is also linked in the description box down below. So we thank you for spending this time with us. For our question of the day, what does slow living mean to you? What does it mean to slow down to you? How do you slow down? What are your priorities that are making you slow down? Share them with us in the comments down below. It will not only encourage us, but our viewers as well. We thank you again for spending this time with us. Please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. There's that thunder again. Subscribe if you haven't. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.